tell you one funny thing about that auditorium you were talking about. We were talking funny things. You remember Jack and Mac Lefevre were twins.
Yes.
And they were in school when I was. And students were required to go to assemblies in that auditorium with the slanting floor. And the faculty people had brought in a hypnotist to entertain us. And he proclaimed that he could hypnotize all of that student body that was there in that auditorium. Well, I wasn't about to be hypnotized, and I don't think scarcely anyone was. But one of those twins pretended that he was hypnotized, and the man did his abracadabra, and then he snapped for everybody to come awake, you know, and whichever one of the twins it was began to scream and raise his hands and jump and dance and just tore up the assembly. It was the funniest thing that ever happened.
Well, Jack and Mac were students, I think about seniors when I came here.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I want you to talk about the music building, how it was built, and who the faculty were, and what you did to get the vocal department going.
Well, as I said, it was rescued from Camp Gruber, and we had a small little auditorium there and cubby holes for our teaching, and the walls were insulated with prairie hay.
Oh,
and
gracious.
Later on, this became a boys' dormitory, and I understand a lot of smoking went on there, and it's a wonder we didn't have a tragedy. But on the faculty, we had T.L. Pittenger was the head of the department, and Ernest Justice was the band director, and myself, Irene Holsinger was the piano teacher, and that's about it.
Right, and I had already started teaching music in the public schools.
Yes.
And I remember when Ernest Justice and his wife were going to have their first baby, and they lived in a garage apartment just off of Grand, which is now the street between the Student Union and the auditorium. And we went to pick them up, Mr. Pittenger and some of us, for a program, and it was icy, and Mr. Pittenger wanted to help Mrs. Justice down the steps, and I can tell you, Mr. Justice did not allow that. He helped his beautiful wife down those steps himself.
I can understand his being concerned about it, because she was so proper. Mary Justice was just, we came from Pittsburgh, and I found out it wasn't Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it was Pittsburgh, Kansas. And it was always, we're from Pittsburgh.
And she was very blonde, I remember, wasn't she? I think.
I didn't recall the blonde, but he was.
Yes, he was a big blonde.
He's a big Swede.
Right, right. And tell a little bit about the little auditorium or recital hall in that old building.
Well, the hall would hold about 100 to 150 people at the max, and I remember we had vocal contests in there in the spring, and there was hardly room for the choir and the next choir coming in and the judge. So it was very crowded. And you didn't have to advertise very much in order to fill it.
That's right. I played, before I graduated in '50, I played for a violinist there who did his senior recital, a very fine violinist. And acoustically, it left much to be desired, too, when you were... When you were trying to put together something that was really, really nice. And the practice rooms were, you froze to death in the winter and smothered in the summer.
There was no air conditioning.
That's...
Absolutely. The air conditioning had hardly been invented by then.
Well, it seemed...
Well, it's not very common anyway.
No, it wasn't. Did you know, Ralph, that where the cafeteria was there east of Seminary Hall,
yes,
which is the parking lot now, and then on a little farther north was the music building, as you said, and on the other side of the Industrial Arts building. Did you know that back in the teen years of the college, when it was a normal school, that was a deer park, and it was fenced, and there were deer in there?
I had heard that they had a deer park, but I didn't know it came down that far.
Yes, it came down that far. And back where the library is now, of course, was the football field, and I'm sure you all...
Oh, yes, we attend the football games there.
Oh.
We had a man asked recently about where the track was, and because his brother had been on the thing, and so we figured out it was there at the football field.
Right.
just north of the, and he was pleased with that.
And on the east side was where the guest team sat, you know, and
Yes.
the stadium sort was on the
Right.
on the west. You know,
It was.
it was interesting, very interesting. And now we have all these fantastic things. Well, tell a little bit about when the new Fine Arts building was built, because you were involved with that.
Well, they were in the process of building the Fine Arts building and the auditorium, and they had a lot of problems. I remember especially there was a tragedy. One man was carrying a piece of long metal reinforcing rod and touched some of the electric cords, and he was shocked and then fell 2 floors and was killed there.
Oh my goodness, I didn't remember
yes,
that.
that was one of the tragedies of the thing. But we thought we were moving into the Taj Mahal when we moved into the new music building. It was, I had the pleasure at that time. I was head of the department for 1 year, and as we were in transition between Pittenger and Theo Nix, and I had the pleasure of picking out pianos and all this stuff to go in the new music building, and it was quite a responsibility.
It was a responsibility, and it was such a good experience.
And I was very young at the time. I was only
yes,
26 at the time.
Yes, we were young in those late 40s and early 50s, and now look at us.
Oh. What's happened?
I don't know. Where has time gone? Well, Ralph, this has been such fun, and you know, I adore your wife, Beth. She's been such a wonderful helpmeet and such a professional woman too.
Well, I think you like the name as much as anything else.
Well, I like the person. I like the person too, though. I like the person too.
Okay.
This has been fun. Thank you, Ralph.
Well, it was my pleasure.